Welcome to the Headshots Podcast with Dr. Nicole, a 1-hour conversation on mental wellness to improve your look and outlook. During the show, we will talk about a variety of topics which impact you from the inside out. Each show is designed with 3 parts: lights, camera, and action. In our lights segment, we will shed light on a topic around a mental health concern. In our camera segment, we will focus on that mental health concern, educate, and raise awareness. And in our action segment, we will give 3 steps to improve your look and your outlook. So join us for the Headshots Podcast with Dr. Nicole. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Headshots Podcast with Dr. Nicole. I'm Dr. Nicole Johnson, a licensed professional counselor, addiction specialist, trauma specialist, assistant professor with over 20 years experience in the behavioral health field in the city of Philadelphia. I am so happy tonight to be at our last episode for this season, not forever, but for this season, for this topic. We have had a wonderful time in this season, the second season of Headshots, talking about recovery, recover me, discover me 2021. And I am so excited tonight because we are here to conclude this whole matter about change, the change that you need in your life, the change of 2021. A lot of people came into 2021 saying, I need a change. I need something different. I lost a lot in 2020. I need to recover. And so we spent our time in this season helping you to recover the things that you've lost, to recover yourself in the process, and to discover the things that are awaiting you in your future and your destiny. So I'm so happy to talk about tonight in our light section, the stages of change. We have been shedding light on this model. It's called the trans-theoretical model of change. And in the stages of change, there are 6 stages that we want to pay attention to. We've gone through every stage, and tonight we're going to top it off, put the cherry on top so that you can move forward into your change process for the rest of this year and beyond. And so we talked about the stages. One is pre-contemplation. Pre-contemplation is basically when you don't believe you have a problem or you're not really aware that there's a problem around you or in your own life. A lot of people call pre-contemplation denial, but it's a little bit more than denial. Sometimes people have had habits and lifestyles that they were raised in, and they didn't even realize how problematic these lifestyles were. And so pre-contemplation is a period where we raise awareness, we evaluate our lives and think about what we really want, and start the process of thinking about, is the way my life is right now the way I want it to be? Which pushes us into contemplation. Contemplation is when we start thinking about the change. Maybe I might need to change some things. Maybe the way I talk, the way I act, the way I think. Maybe I need to not eat those fried foods. Contemplation is the period in our life and the time in our change process when we begin to really consider if there is change that is necessary in our lives. Some ways we helped you do it is to start our pros and cons list. So we put up on Facebook a pros and cons list, and we asked you to write down the pros and the cons of changing, and also the pros and the cons of staying the same. And through this self-evaluation, you have been able to identify where your strengths lie. Do your strengths lie in your change, or do your strengths lie in staying the same? Meaning, are you vested in changing? Are you saying, you know what, I'm so tired of my life, I need to change? Or are you basically saying, well, it's not so bad here where I am. Maybe I'll stay here a little bit longer. And so we moved from the pros and cons list, and we started talking about our team, the people that we need to come alongside of us, the coach, the mentor, and the peer. The peer walks beside me, the coach is behind me cheering me on, and the mentor is before me teaching me. We talked about this as the dream team. I need a dream team to help me through this change process. And as we put the dream team in action, we put them in action through our preparation stage. Now, preparation is just that. It's the period of time where we start developing our plan. And we have spent some time on the plan. Preparation was going so good, we had to spend 2 weeks on it, about talking about the plan. How do I create SMART goals? How do I develop my plan with action steps? How do I start figuring out how can I use the people around me to help facilitate this change process? And we did all of that in preparation. And then last week, it was the time to get started, to get moving, to get into action. Action is the stage of change that lasts between 1 month and 6 months. It's the period where I start walking through my change and I start moving forward and I start saying, you know what? The things I said that I'm going to do, I am going to do. My team is around me, they're rallying me, and I am in action. And so here we are tonight. We're here at the last final stages of change. So one thing I want you to understand about the stages of change is that I don't want you to think of it like a ruler. I want you to think of it like spaghetti. Sometimes we go up and down and in and out of our change process. So we want to keep the motion moving. So we want to keep moving in this process, evaluating ourselves and moving forward. We have to start, and that's what action was all about. But what happens? After 6 months, we move into what we call the maintenance stage. And the maintenance stage of change is when we have continued this change for a long period of time. It's like learning how to drive to a location, and after a while, you kind of get in the car and you do autopilot. Where before you might have had the GPS on because you needed to look back at the GPS step by step. But once you got the directions down, once you knew which way you were going, no longer do you have to figure out the directions. You just automatically go there. Well, that's what maintenance is about. It's about the place and time where this change becomes a part of your life. It is so exciting to know that I don't have to look at my plan as much. I'm going to keep looking at it, but I don't have to look at it every single day because I got this. I'm doing this. I'm making the changes that I said I was going to make. And in that maintenance, it comes a period of time where I move on now and try to change something else. So what I want you to know is that even though we've been talking to you and we've been walking you through this process of one thing we want you to change, we're not, by no means are we suggesting that you're only going to change one thing for the rest of your life. We just needed one thing for you to get started, to go through this process. And from now on, whenever you're thinking about a change, whenever you recognize that something is coming up in your life that you don't like anymore, and you're saying, I need to move from this place, now you have the tools to go through the stages of change. Now you have the tools to do your pros and cons list, to weed out those things that need to be weeded out, to examine those barriers. We have given you the tools that you can use for the rest of your life. Now, don't worry. The Headshots podcast will be back. We are part of your dream team. So by no means are we going to push you into this change and just leave you high and dry. We're going to take a little break for some weeks and we're going to come back. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about a topic that is going to relate to what you're doing. So we will never leave you. We're going to be here with you. Okay. So I'm so excited tonight that I have two of my favorite people that have been on the Headshots podcast. And I know my sisters are watching, fussing at me because they're like, I thought we were your favorite people. But two of my colleagues are here tonight to help us in the change process. First, Elder John is back. Elder John has been working all this season, helping us walk through this change process. And it's been such a wonderful blessing to have him. And also we brought back the grief guru herself. I just named her the grief and loss guru herself, Dr. Angel. So come on. I thank God for everybody on Facebook, YouTube, watching live, watching in the replay. Come on, team. Let's give them a hand. You have made Headshots wonderful this season. So Elder John, Dr. Angel, welcome back to Headshots again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Nicole. You're welcome. The grief guru. I've named you Dr. Angel. The grief guru.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Dr. Angel. Yes. Thank you.
If we walk back through this season, there was things we had to talk about. We talked about, desire, getting into the change. Dr. Angel, you came and you so powerfully talked about grieving and letting go. And even though, we've shed light on how the stages of change can help us, how the stages of change can benefit us. Now we need to really focus in on this maintenance piece. Because I'm sure people have been doing it. I've talked to people and gotten responses from people that they have been in their change process. So I'm saying to the live audience tonight, if you have been following us in this change process, say, chat, write a comment. I'm in this change process with y'all, with you, with y'all, whatever you want to say. I'm in it. Okay. I'm in it to win it. But Dr. Angel, since you've talked about grief and loss, let's focus in. Let's bring the camera on things about maintaining what you have gained. So I want to ask you a question, Dr. Angel. Why is it important that the pain of the gain not be forgotten? Why do we need to remember the pain of the gain?
Yeah, because, part of this maintenance piece is it's not easy, right? We're moving into this and we want to do this, but sometimes it's not easy. And sometimes those old habits, they slip back in. So we have to remember that pain of the gain so we don't go back to some of those old habits. So it's really important that I remember, some of those things that I left were painful. Some of those things that I let go of were painful. So I got to remember, I worked really hard for this. I worked really hard to get here. I worked really hard to do this. Why am I maintaining this? I'm maintaining this for all of these things. So I got to remember some of that pain. I got to remember some of what was hurting, some of the things I let go of some of the things that I even lost that I didn't want to, but
Mhm.
some of that is my reason for this change. So I have to remember that pain and I got to honor it, right? We talked
Mhm.
before about honoring the pain, honoring the
Yes.
loss. And some of this maintenance is about honoring that. And so it's really important that we remember that.
So remember the pain, because remembering the pain will help me to stay in the game.
Yes,
Okay. So
absolutely.
remembering the pain, y'all, is going to help me to stay in the game. When I remember the pain of my past, the pain of where I was, the pain of my lifestyle, the pain of I don't like who I am, I don't like where I am. When I remember that, it can help me move forward into the gains. Okay. All right, John. Pain, gain. Why is it important? John, pain and
I
gain?
love what Dr. Angel just enlightened us on. I love it. I do. Wow. I mean, this is true. I'm in agreement with this. You have to remember that pain, because it cost you something.
It costs you
Mm,
something.
And it could be a very high price of
Mhm.
what it cost you. And just like what you achieved is costing you something. That means that
Mhm.
you're putting this effort in you, trying to get the pain behind you. So your gain has value. you
I was
know
go- that
mm,
I
so
was
so
thinking that
so
word.
that
Yes.
pain serves as a reminder, that you stand not only do you stand to lose all that you have achieved, but also you're doomed to repeat.
Mm.
oh,
So you
Mhm.
you really need to make sure that pain is there, because we should have the mindset of no return. you
Right.
know
yes.
Right.
no return. And in
No
order not
return.
to return, then you do need something to remember.
Mhm.
you know and like people always say, how people might have a scar.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
so while the pain is not necessarily there, the scar serves as a memory of that pain. So we're
Mhm.
not talking about necessarily actually holding on to the pain, just holding on to the memory of it cost you something. you
Mhm.
know
Mm-hmm.
but the pain could be subsided and relieved. And that's where it's really most dangerous. If something really was painful and then
Mhm.
it's relieved, sometimes if we're not careful, we forget.
We
Yeah.
forget.
And
We
that's how
forget.
you are doomed to repeat, because the,
And so,
the, the
John.
Mm-hmm.
level of pain or intensity is not there anymore.
Mhm. So, John,
Yeah.
you're talking about a token that our
Mm.
change process or our past has left an unremovable token or mark on our lives, but so will our change. Our change will give us a new mark. Our change will give us,
Mm-hmm.
how some times, and this just came to me, sometimes people mark their lives by experiences. And
Mm.
a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times when we're in a change process, we will find ourselves marking our lives by the negative experiences. And it's
Absolutely.
important because now I'm in my change process. And this is for everyone listening. Now that you're in your change process, start marking your life by your change successes. Start
Yeah.
marking your life by the steps that you've achieved. And like John said last week, those little rewarding yourself for the little
Yes, please.
steps. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I used to grieve. I could grieve the loss of that thing I used to like. But now I am grieving leaving this place.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Angel, I'm changed now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I'm afraid of
Yep.
losing this. I'm
Right.
Right,
afraid
right,
Right.
right.
I might
Yes,
mourn. I don't want to mourn my newness. I don't want to
that's right.
mourn
Mm-hmm.
what I'm gaining.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
how do I talk a little bit about that if that resonates with
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
lose
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Because sometimes we have to remind ourselves what is coming is greater than what has been, right?
Yes.
But we get stuck
Very,
Yes.
very good.
because we're sitting in this place of, well, this is better than what was. But if you can hold on to, well, what is coming is
Oh,
still better than what this is, then we don't have to mourn this. But I can get into this place that, wait, I'm better than what I've ever been. This gain is better than what was, right? But what is coming is still better. And so we really have to focus on what is coming is greater than what has been. You're still evolving. Get into that space of every move you make is going to be a move for greater. And so, yes, I know it's hard to see like, well, wait, I made this gain. This feels good,
Yes.
but I don't know what the next one's going to be. But it has to be greater because
Yes.
whatever you're doing
I
is an
love that.
improvement.
I love that faith
Me
talk.
too.
That what is coming
Greater is coming.
next,
Jesus.
greater is coming. Glory to glory, right? It's going to be greater. Do you
It's
know
coming.
why it's greater? Because not only am I'm in recovery, that's good, that's great, right? I'm recovering me,
Yes.
that's great, but I'm also discovering me. That's great.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
in this process, things are going to happen, but even the bad is good
Yes.
because I'm
Right.
changing. These are lessons along my way. I'm changing.
Mhm.
I never thought,
Mhm.
some of people never think they can change. I never thought I could change before,
Right.
but I'm changing, right? I'm
Mhm.
changing.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm in this change process. John, Angel, I'm in this change process.
Mm-mm.
And I know as we do recovery work and addictions treatment, the 6 months, we call it the wall.
Mm.
The 6
Yeah.
months of consistency,
Oh,
we
yeah.
call it the wall. Now,
Yep.
stages of change call it maintenance, but some people can get stagnant.
Mhm.
How do we avoid stagnation? How do we avoid stagnation? I've been doing this 1 to 6 months. But I'm hitting this wall. How do I avoid stagnation?
I mean, that's one of the, the things that go along with that pain and gain. You have to keep your eyes on the prize, to not avoid stagnation, and then also you can't you can't realize that you have basically arrived. Like that 6 month wall is not is just part of the arrival, but it's not the arrival.
Mhm.
Is the rewards along the way. That's why
Mhm.
you have those little tangibles that you talked about that
Mhm.
you need to, because that helps motivate you get to each month, and then before you know it, it's 6 months.
Right.
But
Mhm.
your 6 months is just something that is the beginning of, like Dr. Angel said, your greater.
Mhm.
It's just the
Mhm.
beginning of it.
Mhm.
Of your greater. So to avoid that stagnation, that is one thing you must do, is keep your eyes on the prize.
Keep your eyes
And
Yeah.
on
then
the prize.
also, because if you don't keep your eyes on the prize, once again, it's like that, forgetting that pain. You forget where you come from, you do and repeat.
Mhm.
So that stagnation piece is keep your eyes on the prize and don't forget where you came from.
Keep your eyes on the
Mhm.
prize. Don't forget where you come from. Dr. Angel, how do I stay motivated though? I hear John talking,
Mhm.
keep my
Yeah.
eyes on the prize, don't forget where I come from, but it's hard. It's hard
It's,
doing this thing that I'm not used to doing.
but I think this also goes back to what Elder John said before about that dream team, right? Who's keeping me
Yeah.
accountable,
Who's keeping me
right?
accountable? Love that.
I need people keeping me accountable because it's easy for me to get stuck. But if somebody's saying, "Hey, you know what, Angel? I've noticed you slacking off," and in a loving way, right? We got to speak the truth, but we got to speak it in love, right?
Mhm.
Hey, Angel, I see you slacking off, or I see, you said that you wanted to walk 3 days a week, but you're coming down to 2 days a week, and while your eating habits are okay, this other piece is coming down. I'm gonna do it with you, right? Who's your accountability partner
That's
and who's
right.
coming with
Good.
you,
Yes.
right?
Love
Yes.
We
that.
got to get those people that are coming with you, and again with love. I remember, like you were saying, Dr. Nicole, in the beginning about how we could keep driving the same place. I was driving to my uncle's house for years, and this one day, oh wait, I think I took the wrong exit, right? Oh no, I'm used to doing this thing. It comes so
Wow.
natural.
Wow.
We do it the wrong way.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, I got off on the wrong exit. I'm not going to beat myself up, but that's the light bulb. Check yourself.
That's right.
Because what happened that
Mhm.
you're doing this thing
Yes.
and it becomes so routine
Mhm.
that now you went the wrong way. And what happens when you take the wrong exit? Well, now I got to go 5-10 miles out of my way to get back onto where I was supposed to
All
go.
right now.
You just said
So,
something.
go ahead, Dr. Nicole.
Go ahead.
So I can't beat myself up, but I gotta be self-aware. I gotta check
Yes.
myself, and I gotta have that dream team that's
Mhm.
going to check on me. But I also
Mhm.
don't want to keep having to backtrack and lose my gains either.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Angel, you just excited me when you said that, because I started thinking about the fact that we can get so in the routine, which is what we want to do,
That's
but
right.
we can
Mhm.
disconnect emotionally. And when we
Yes.
disconnect emotionally or mentally from what we're doing, we can drive and think we're still going the right way, think we're still in that
Yes.
change process, and we took
Mhm.
a wrong turn. So we
Wow.
have
Mhm.
to. Our dream team is the people that are not going to
Yes.
necessarily keep us accountable. And I've been saying this all
Mm.
week, so I need to say it here. And it's not
Mhm.
about doing; it's really the change is about being.
Yes.
Because if you be, you will do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoever you be, you will do. People try to
Mhm.
check boxes and, oh, I did this, I checked this, I
Right.
checked that.
Right.
That's doing. But if there's no emotional
Mhm.
and mental connection to your change, then you're just doing and not being.
Yeah.
And after a while, it's
Mhm.
going to get boring. After a while, you're going to be tired of doing, because the transformation happens inside. This is about
Mhm.
being. You will do who you be.
Yeah.
And that's
Yes.
bad English, but you will do who you
Nope.
No,
be.
you would do who
You
you.
will
Yeah. Yeah.
do
You
who
will
you
do who you
be.
be.
Who you
And
be?
you
You hit it
wondering,
Please
right.
do.
oh,
I don't
I
care how
said
you
I was
put
going
it
to change,
together.
but I can't
Ebonics.
change. You know why? Because you don't be.
Because you're
Right.
not
That's why
big.
you haven't changed.
Mm-mm.
That's why
Yeah.
you did it for 2 days and it ended, because you haven't allowed it to be. You haven't allowed it to
Mhm.
come up in, like you're saying, your dream team holding you accountable,
Right.
remembering that pain, keeping your eye on the prize, so that now this change is not something I'm just doing. This is something about
Mhm.
me.
Right.
Recovery is not about
Mhm.
doing. Recovery is about, I want to change who I am.
Yes.
I'm tired of being
Mhm.
this old me. I need to,
Yeah.
not only in recovery, but I need to recover me. Who am I?
Mhm.
Yeah. Discover.
Because
Yeah.
Mhm.
situations have
Yeah.
tore me up. I don't even know who I am anymore.
No.
And then
Mm-mm.
how can I discover myself and be creative in this process? How can I
Yeah.
do that? So let's talk
Mhm.
about moving as we're moving. How can I be creative in this process? How can I discover me in this
Yeah.
process?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think part of it is trying something new, right? Like,
Yeah. Yep.
we have to get out of the old. And I think it is this piece of, there are things that are going to be scary. We have to allow ourselves to do it scared,
Mhm.
right? When we are discovering ourselves, some of the things we are going to discover we don't like,
Mhm.
right?
Oh,
We're going to have to
Yep.
go into those dark and scary places
That's right.
anyway. We're going to have to try something new and try something
Mhm.
different and see, if I do this other thing, do I like it? Maybe I do. Or if I have this difficult conversation, maybe that's scary, but maybe that brings me out of my shell and I can do that thing.
Mm.
But I have to do it scared, and I have to do the things that I haven't done before so I can discover who I am and what I need and how I can be.
and that's the only way to maintain my gains.
Yeah.
I won't maintain my gains by doing alone. I will
Mhm.
maintain my gains by being. And even if
Mhm.
I have to be scared,
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I
Right.
have a
Yes.
dream team.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I have
Yes.
somebody to hold my
Yes.
hand in the
Yes.
scary movie, right? In this scary movie
Yes.
called life. Somebody help me, wake me up and say, Nicole, it's not a nightmare. It's okay. I'm here with you, right? John, you want to talk on
Wow.
that?
I mean, I'm just enjoying it. I am this change with
Thank
you. Yeah, that's right. Listen, I mean, everything that you're saying is just so true. I mean, also too, you have to realize that you can find multiple things to do that will still get you the same goal.
Mhm.
So sometimes you might, like you were talking about that routine, that pattern, how you might feel like, okay, now it's just getting old. But there's still more other things that you can do that will still keep you focused on achieving that goal. You just reminded me of the whole recovery system, with
Yes.
the dream team, and how, you have to find the things that motivate you, but it's almost like they make sure that they use the team like a smorgasbord. Some people like to go to
Yes.
meetings, right? Some people like to read self-help books, but then you have your sponsor, and then you just look at everything that you have at your disposal, right? So that things are not getting old, but you got so many different things that you have to do. And I really love the way you said doing it scared, Dr. Angel, because
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
discovery piece.
Yeah.
Is discovering you is actually, when you said it gets greater is later, and discovering you find out that is more in you than you thought that it was. So a lot of times we think that recovery means is to get back to where you were, but you have to realize, getting back to where you were, there may be some things that held you to be that way in the first place. So so you might need to discover some of those things, right? That may be characteristics that are hindering you from achieving your goal. And that's what, when I think about the recovery, it's all about that. It's about, having a specific goal of, let's say, abstinence, right? But you cannot achieve that without exploring some characteristics that might be contributing to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and then I'm discovering that. I'm discovering more about me, right? And to me, as we are talking, it's exciting.
It is.
It's scary, but it's exciting.
Yes.
Because I get to see myself in a metamorphosis way. And when you're talking about, being creative, you actually find the creativity within yourself.
Yeah.
Because now you're looking at yourself, and then you find out what's you, or you thought that you would not like this, but you tried something new, and you find out, hey, this is something that I do like. And a lot of times we don't know what we like because we could be limited exposure wise.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And so how do we celebrate this? How do we celebrate? Because I think that one of the things that I noticed in the recovery process, John, like I said, we all work in treatment and counseling. And one thing we know is that the people that are on this live in our change process, thank you, Gregory Person, talking about I'm in this change with you. I saw the comment come up. There's NAAA Help Self-Help Group. They celebrate anniversaries.
Yeah.
They stop to celebrate the change. Why? What does it do for us? Celebrating, stopping, and celebrating the change. What does that do for us? Our psyche, our mentality, our emotions. What does it do for us?
Again, it honors that space, right?
Yeah,
it's again about honoring, right?
Honoring.
So it gives us that space to honor our change, honor our accomplishments, right? Celebrate, you did it. Right? Think about it when, whether we're parents, whether we're aunties, whether we're uncles, when our little ones make those milestones, oh my goodness, you walked. Oh, you took your first step.
Yeah.
Encourages them to keep doing it, right? So if I'm honoring my change, if I'm honoring each step, oh, whoa, I did this, I'm going to do it again, right? What is rewarded will be repeated. And so if I'm honoring it, and if I'm doing it, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. And that's how we're trained. We started doing it when we were little. Let's continue it as we get older.
So I'm maintaining my gain by rewarding my goal. What is rewarded will be repeated. And so I'm maintaining my gain by keeping these components in. One is, I noticed that when I've worked with people and they're in the change process, if they're not rewarding themselves, if they don't feel, because some gains you won't see automatically. Some gains, they come in the long term. If your goal is to buy a house, you're not going to see the gain of that goal until you get the house. But there's a could be a long process in that. And so I have to celebrate and reward myself for the things that I'm doing, for the money that I'm saving. Every time I get $100 in the bank, woo, that's another 100. Every time I get to 1,000, woo, that's another 1,000. And so what does it build in us? What does it build in us to reward what remains? John, what does it build?
Well, two things. One, first of all, when you guys were talking, is that it reminds me of that saying that I told you that I saw a while ago, and it was commitment is not in the arrival, it's in the journey. So
Yes.
so you're celebrating commitment
Mhm.
because it's going
Yeah.
to take commitment in order to get the goal. And sometimes it
Mhm.
you know, in whatever arena that you're looking at, and the reason why they have those little milestones is because change and attainment and commitment is difficult.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's a, like, for certain situations, like it may be it may be hard for people to stop something, right?
Yeah.
But then when they stop something, it may be even harder to stay stopped. So
Right.
Mhm.
you have to be able to celebrate the commitment of what? Doing what you said you were going to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you keep
Yeah.
doing that, you'll get to your goal. But if
Mhm.
all we thinking about is achieving that goal, then a lot of times that's where too much pressure of the fear of failing, not being able to make it,
Mhm.
is
Yes.
because you're looking at
Mhm.
achieving rather than the commitment. If
Mhm.
you stay
Yeah.
commitment, like you
Yeah.
just said, instead of trying to do, be, you know, instead of
Mhm.
trying to arrive, commit. You
Commit.
know, yeah,
Oh,
commit instead of
John,
trying to
say
arrive,
it
commit.
Like
again.
Because if you
that.
commit, you'll arrive. You
If you,
know,
oh, I love it.
Mhm.
John, that's
it,
it.
it, it
Mhm.
it's just, you
Yep.
know,
Oh,
we
John.
sometimes we shoot too far, you
Mhm.
know. And the thing about, you said, what it builds is it. See, I you, it's so many
Come on.
scriptures flying through my head, you know,
Come
and
on, Elder John.
I'm
Come
trying to be
on.
like, oh no, don't say that.
Go
Oh
ahead.
my God. But
Come on.
what it does is it builds it builds experience,
Mhm.
right? We get experience, we get confidence that we can do
Yes.
this, you know,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
confidence and that experience gives us hope, you know.
Mhm.
And then the more
Hope
experience,
is
the
not
more hope
ashamed.
we get, then what happens is we are reaching a level of mastery.
Mhm.
And when I say
Mhm.
a level of mastery, not once again, not that you have arrived, but you're starting to get accustomed to the hills and valleys, the hills and valleys. So
Mhm.
yes, it
Mhm.
will build, if you was a runner, what? Your stamina, your
Stamina.
endurance. You
Right.
know,
Right.
it
Right.
would build that
Yeah.
up, you know.
Right.
And
Yeah.
in fact, that's what, those are the tangibles that you're trying to build,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
When,
And so,
Yeah.
what
go
am I
ahead.
trying to build, John? I'm trying to build the stamina to commit.
To commit. I
To
love that.
commit. If I commit, I'm going to make it to that goal.
Yeah.
How can I maintain the gain? The gain is not the goal. The gain is the commitment. The gain
Yeah.
is each step of the process.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
gain is recovery. Now, I didn't
Yeah.
say recover. I said recovery. This is
Hmm.
a
Yeah.
process.
Ongoing. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
one of the things that we need to talk about is the fact that, you know, John, and Angel, Dr. Angel, there are times where we do people, now I'm not saying we,
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
relapse.
Come
People
on.
get into this change
Come
process.
on.
They get caught into doing. They start
Wow.
making some gains,
Uh-huh.
and then they
Mhm.
do something. They drop off. They don't
Mhm.
check in with their dream team, and they lose the gains. They don't
Yes.
Yes.
maintain the gains, and
Yes.
that's called relapse. For some
Yep.
people say, "Well, I don't
Wow.
understand all that recovery talk." I'm telling you plain. When you don't maintain your gains, that's your relapse. I didn't
Mhm.
maintain my gains. I didn't stay committed. Talk about,
Mhm.
does everyone relapse? Is
Everybody does.
you, everybody relapses? Is no way not to relapse?
Well, I go ahead, Dr. Joe.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that, you know, that there's a few things that my connection with the recovery
Mhm,
community
mhm,
is a lot of times what happens is, and is a saying that it has, and it says that relapse is not a requirement,
mhm,
but it
Mm.
is a
I
reality.
like that.
mhm,
You know, it's
mhm,
not a
I like that.
requirement that everybody that gets involved in change, that you have to relapse.
Mm.
And it
mm.
doesn't mean that you won't,
Right.
but It's not a requirement. It's not something that has to happen in order for you to change. However, it is a reality. And this is what I got from what makes it a reality is according to their plan. It says, rarely have we seen a person fail that has thoroughly followed these steps.
Mm.
So they said rarely have they failed. Not that they haven't, but because of the fact that when you have the directions of success and you follow that direction of success, you follow that roadmap and that plan that has been successful, it's saying that rarely have we seen someone fail. It's when we said what Dr. Angel said, when we don't allow the dream team to assist us and help us.
Yes. Yes.
When we try to help the help.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Instead of following what the instructions say. We even in certain religious sectors where it says basic instructions before leaving Earth. If you follow these particular situations, but sometimes we want to come up with our own stuff. So I'm the reason why I said that is because it is a reality if you stop doing what was prescribed.
Okay. Dr. Angel, what you think?
So I think as Elder John said, it's a reality. And you've heard me say this before, and I said this before, you'll hear me say it all the time. When it happens, we have to give ourselves grace.
Yes.
Right? This space of, if it is your reality, to recognize you're not alone.
Yes.
And to get back up and dust yourself off and keep on moving. Because I think part of what happens is this idea that I relapsed. I didn't follow my plan. I didn't reach out to this person. I have all this guilt. I have all this shame. And I know the old me.
Yes.
So you know what? That old me feels kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just slide back into being the old me, because that old me is who I've known longer than the new me. I'm comfortable with the old me. Let me stick with that person. So if you relapse, realize there's a lot of people that do it. It happens to a lot of people. And you can get up just like the other ones.
Yes.
And get back on your plan. Get back with your dream team. Get back into your maintenance. And keep it moving.
Yes. Yes.
Because we can get stuck in this. I know the old me is more comfortable, but the old you wasn't working.
Yes.
Which is why you got into this plan. And again, recovery is a process. It's not a destination. So get up and keep moving and get back into this space. Because again, I feel that failure is just a lesson in how to figure things out.
Yes.
So it didn't work when you did it that way. You got to do it this other way. Keep it moving and do it again.
That's right.
And so what you all are saying is that relapse can be instrumental in this process of gains, in the process of maintaining what I've gained. I don't have to relapse. If I'm working on my plan, I'm planning for not relapsing. But if I don't follow the plan, if I don't use my dream team, if I don't check in with how I'm feeling, if I try to do instead of being, but then I'm finding out I can't do nor be, I may relapse. But if I relapse, from what I hear y'all saying is that it's not a total loss.
No,
it's not a total loss of my gains. And so don't throw out, as they say, the baby with the bathwater. Don't stop changing. Get up and re-engage. Get up and reconnect. Get up and recommit to this process. Because the change process only stops when you stop.
Yes,
absolutely.
If you keep going, I don't care if you get up and go down and get up. Like John was saying, those up and I don't care if we do well and not do well. Like Dr. Angel said, sometimes we can feel shame. We can not touch in with our dream team. The only one who can stop this process of change in your life, the only one who can stop this recovery process is you.
Yes.
It's not on your dream team. It's not on your family and friends. It is you, my friend. So if you're going to recover me, discover me, you have to make a daily commitment and a recommitment and a recommitment
Yes,
that
yes.
I'm going to
Another
maintain what I have gained. Okay.
Yes.
I got $1. I might lose 10 cents, but I'm not losing 90 more.
How
I'm
about
going to
it?
maintain what I have gained. And so we're going to
Mm.
ask people if you have a question, if there's something that's popping into your head, because we are sitting here and we're just having a wonderful conversation, and we are talking about maintenance, the maintenance stage of change, because maintenance also includes termination, and not termination from the change process, not termination from the evaluation, but termination means that I am at a place where I am engaged in this. It's me now. It's me now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some of you have engaged in education. You took in, you changed, you started going to school. There was a point where you reached a degree. You finished.
Mm-hmm.
The change you needed was a 2-year change. And it took 2 years for you to get into that school and complete that degree. Once you complete that degree, it's terminated. We don't have to go back and do the degree again. Let's say you're going to get a house. Once you buy the house, the process of buying a house, you may need to back up because maybe this is your house. Maybe this is it. You're maybe not moving again. Okay. And so there's sometimes in the change process, after we have maintained, after we have reached a level of, John talked about a proficiency and change and commitment. I'm in this this is me now. I can separate myself. But I want to talk about discovery.
Yeah.
Because maintenance is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And we want to maintain what we have gained, because maintaining what we have gained opens the door for discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about discovery and maintenance. What do we discover when we maintain our change for a long period of time, when the change now becomes who I am? What can our listening audience look forward to after they maintain this change? What can they look forward to?
Well, one of the things that you can look forward to is the benefits of the rewards in which you were pursuing in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you can look for, and it just reminds me of when Dr. Angel was talking about, and I think it's important. Well, at least it's important that I feel right now is that what you're going to discover, right, is, and the reason why relapse is a reality. What you're going to discover is things that become barriers for us.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, I hear what you're saying, and you know what, I achieve, but then I give up. And that's what we were talking about, is that, the commitment is not giving up. But what you would gain, as I said, is the experience. Because, okay, now I know that I need to stay on track with this. Now I know I need to stay on track with that. But you're speaking so much to the going back to the self-talk of us failing. And a lot of times is because of something didn't change with our need for other people's perception to change. So yes, I did fail.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to go back and see how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
I remember talking to somebody, and we have so much sneaky pride. You can see somebody, sneaky pride.
Sneaky pride.
You can see somebody walk down the street, and then they trip over something, and then they act like they ran, like they never tripped,
Guilty.
They don't want to look back, right? And I say, no, look back. See what you tripped over. Because if you don't know what you tripped over, you're going to trip again.
Yes.
But you got too much pride to go look back and see what went wrong.
Yes.
But you act like nothing went wrong. And now you're cool. You got your balance back, and now you're walking. You better go find out what you tripped over.
You better go find out.
Yeah. So, but that's why I said that's the other sneaky piece where you're discovering. Guess what? My own pride might wind up being my downfall.
Wow. Yeah.
And I just discovered that, So now I need to discover something else. Do I have that much pride where I can't even admit it or disclose it and talk about it?
Ooh.
You
So
know, so
John,
you're
wait a
talking
minute.
about
What, John, hold on.
stagnant.
I
Yeah,
gotta
I know,
stop
I
you
know, I
right
know,
there.
I know, I know, I know. I
No,
gotta
because
stop.
wait a minute.
I didn't mean to
Because what
open
you're
up like that.
saying,
I'm sorry.
what you're
No, you're
saying
good.
is
You're good.
that in the change process, the things we discover, now I need to take those discoveries and put that through the process.
That's right.
I
Yeah,
Yes.
need to
that's
take
exactly
those
what it
things
is.
I'm discovering
Yep.
that can hinder my maintenance, that can
Yeah.
hinder, that can cost me my gains.
Mhm.
And I need to put
Yes.
those things through a change process.
That's right. Put them through a
Go
change
ahead.
Mhm.
I'm
process.
sorry. I
So that
just
way, so
caught
so
that.
what we're doing is we're discovering, we're celebrating, and we're eliminating. You know,
Yes.
we're
Mm-hmm.
discovering,
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
we're
right there.
discovering, we're celebrating, and we're eliminating because it's no return.
Mhm.
No
I'm
return.
not going back. So if I tripped
Mhm.
and went back, now I need to try to figure out, well, what did I trip over? So then that way I can see it coming because I didn't see it coming. You know,
Didn't see.
maybe I need to use my dream team a little bit more because I missed that blind spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need
Mhm.
to rediscover, how did I miss that blind spot? Did I
Mm-hmm.
miss that blind spot because of, my own arrogance,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that I
Mhm.
got this?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, when we're talking about a process of not just doing things physically, but
Yeah.
we're talking about everything changing in a unisys way. My
Yes.
mind,
Mhm.
my emotions, my spirituality, my physicality, all of these things are
Mhm.
going to be a part of my change process. So it's not just a goal. So
It's
when you
awesome.
talk about and then especially when you said the maintaining piece, the thing
Mm-hmm.
about it is that when we achieve those particular goals, because some goals we will achieve, and
Mm-hmm.
and they may be
Mhm.
over. I know
Absolutely.
that you're going to get into this. That may be over, but don't forget that even though you achieve the goal, right? There may be a goal that stems from the goal you just achieved.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I
So you
got
want to
you.
be mindful of that.
I got you. I got the house, but now I need to save for the maintenance.
Yes.
I saved for the house, spent
Hmm.
all my money. Okay. I needed to spend my money. That's what I was saving for. But now that I have the house, part of maintaining what I've gained is going through this process of change, this change.
Mhm.
So what you're saying, change on another level.
Yeah, change on another
You will
level.
Mhm.
never
That's a
stop
good way.
discovering the need to change. Dr. Angel, what are your
Mhm.
thoughts about it?
So I'm gonna follow up with Elder John because I think he's absolutely right in the parking lot, right in the building, actually. And I think some of the other things we are going to discover are, what are those things that fulfill us, right? What are the things that give us peace? What are the things that I need to continue in my life and be fulfilled, right? So I'm going to figure out, hey, I need to push this to the side. Hey, this is my roadblock. But also,
Yeah.
what is going to fulfill me
Yeah.
and give me peace and sustain me as I move forward? Because part of my maintenance is I want to be fulfilled. I want to
Yeah.
be at
Yes.
peace. I
Yes.
want to have these good relationships. Who are the people that actually help me sustain peace and
Yes.
have good relationships and all of that? So, yes, I got to figure out, like, wait, what's standing in my way? And
Mhm.
in that, too, maybe I keep some of these people around me because they don't tell me about myself. So now that I realize pride is a thing, maybe I got to eliminate some of these people too. Or maybe there's some toxic relationships that have been going on, and now I know what gives me peace. Maybe I got to eliminate some of that too, right? Maybe I
Yeah.
have to learn how to
Yeah.
set some boundaries because I need my
Yeah.
peace. And so
Love it.
recognizing those kinds of things too. And so, okay, if I know these are the things that I need peace, I need calm, I
Mhm.
need joy, right? How do I then put these things into practice as well?
That's
Love it.
so
Love it.
powerful, Dr.
Love it. Yes.
Angel.
Love it.
I need to maintain my peace. I need to maintain some of the gains are not just things. Like we said, it's not just the doing, it's the being.
Yes. Yeah.
And those are
Mm-hmm.
things, so
Yeah.
both of them. I need them both. I'm not saying throw away
Mm-hmm.
the doing, but if I have the doing without the being, I won't have peace.
Mm-hmm.
I won't have
Yeah.
that satisfaction in what I'm doing. And so I want to
Yeah.
move into our
Mm.
action steps. And so we were talking tonight about maintaining your gains. How do we do this? How do we keep what we have? Crossroads moments makes us have to take a look of what we have to do differently. Yes, Azare, we
Wonderfully
have to
said.
take a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Absolutely.
at a crossroad moment. Everybody on this line, you're looking at this Zoom. Look, I mean, it's not
Pretty good
Zoom.
though.
We've been
Yeah.
zoomed out. I keep saying Zoom. That's tell you how much Zoom I'm
Them
on.
all the
Looking
time.
at this
Right.
StreamYard, looking at this live. you're at a crossroad. This is your moment. This is a defining. I'm telling you, hear what I'm saying to you. This is a defining moment for a lot of your lives. And if you would engage in this change process, you will never be the same again. You just won't. It just is happening. You won't be the same again. So one thing I want to tell you, step number one is maintain this change. You wrote it down. You said you were going to work on it. Now commit. Like John was saying, Elder John, even when you believe you've got it, keep evaluating your change. When you believe you got it, make sure. Dr. Angel gave a great story. I thought I had it, the directions to my uncle's house, and one day I wound up on the wrong turn. Even when you believe you've got it, keep evaluating your change. Maintain this change that you've written down, that you've pros and cons. You've done all this work. Maintain it. Okay, that's step number one. Number two, maintain the process of change. One of the reasons why we put those things up on our Facebook site is because we want you to be able to apply what you have learned to other areas of your life. We wanted to take you through the process of changing one thing so that you can apply it to other areas of your life. So maintain the process of change. Don't get this one change down pat and be like, oh, that's it. I'm done changing. No, use that to go into other areas of your life that are vital, that are key, that you need to change in. Okay. And number three, while you're on your way while you're maintaining what you've gained, maintain the discovery. Friends, never stop reinventing yourself. Never stop discovering who you are. You get into this change process. Don't be satisfied with that person you become. Look at that person and say, but you know what? Like Dr. Angel said, I can go a little bit higher. There's a greater in here. There's a greater in me. There's better in me. Don't just get recovery. Then recover me. But don't just settle there with recovery and recover me. Discover yourself. Find out things that you can do, places that you can go, people that you can meet, things that you can bring into this world. Do not allow this change process to die with this one area, this one goal, but keep reinventing yourself. Keep imagining yourself better and better. We're getting ready to close. I'm going to give my host a minute to wrap it up. Elder John, give me a minute. Give me a good minute.
Oh, wow. I don't need a minute. Well, no, only thing I just say, I tell you this, it's been great series, just keep working your plan and don't give up, use the dream team. That's it.
All right, John, keep working your plan. Don't give up. Use the dream team. Okay. Dr. Angel.
Yes, again, this has been wonderful. And I think, again, like Dr. Nicole and Elder John said, this is life-changing. Really, really tap into discovering yourself. And even if you fall off, make sure that you get back in it. Don't give up just because something doesn't go the way you wanted it to. Learn from whatever happens and just get back in and tap back in and hold on, because again, greater is what's coming than what has been before.
Well, I don't even know what to do. I don't know if I should just run around my table.
Yeah, I mean, lady, I'm telling you.
Leave the set, take the earphones off, run around, come back. I don't know whether to cry, because I have felt such a presence that people are being changed. They're being transformed. I believe we talk a lot about faith, that by faith, people are being changed this season. When I really was in contemplation and prayer about this title for this season, Recover Me came to me as far as what we should do for this season. And Shalonda, who's our producer, who I love very much, she knows that we don't move forward until we have the plan, until we have what God is saying for people that need help. that are dealing with mental and emotional and even physical anguish and turmoil and confusion. And that's what we felt coming out of 2020, that so many people were in such desperate straits. And when I was meditating and praying about what should we bring at Headshots, he was like, recovery. That's what this year is about. And not only just recovery, but the fact that some people in their recovery process are going to recover themselves. They've been buried under grief, buried under loss, buried under people dying, buried under financial trouble, buried under the stress and carrying the burden of others. And they needed to find themselves and reconnect with who they are and their dreams again. And through this process, the stages of change, grief and loss, leaving and letting go, falling and I can't get up, all of the different titles we've had in this season, we're going to discover that 2021, friends, and I'm claiming this for myself and for everybody that watches this video, that 2021 is going to be our best year yet because we have decided and committed that we are going to change. Friends, I love you. We love you. Thank you for another great season of Headshots Podcast with Dr. Nicole. Remember, we'll be back in a couple of weeks, not a couple of weeks, like a couple of months. And we'll be back with whatever is coming next. But one thing you know is that this year is about recovery, recover me, discover me, 2021. Friends, we love you. God bless you. Good night for now. Take care.